How do you know which chair to use for your chair yoga practice? Today I got a few examples to show you the chair that I prefer and why. So now that we're practicing from home, you have a few different options, I'm sure, around your house. So first of all, I want you to notice none of these chairs have armrests. That's going to be really important to have a chair without armrests because we do some things from side to side and you don't want to end up whacking the armrest of the chair. Another thing to notice, none of these are a couch or a recliner, so it's important to have a nice, solid, stable chair. I'm going to go down the lineup. The first chair I grabbed is my desk chair. Now this chair rolls around, it has wheels on it. So right off the bat, that's not going to be the best option for chair yoga because when we do our standing poses, it's going to roll away from you. One of the benefits to it is that it does swivel. So sometimes when I'm not doing a full practice, when I'm just practicing some twists, it can feel nice to use the swivel to get some more movement into my torso. So I'm going to push this one off to the side because it's not going to be the ideal chair yoga chair. So the next one that I'm going to show you is a tall chair from my dining room. Now, at first glance, this chair is nice and sturdy, but this seat is very high. So one of the problems with this is that when I sit down, my feet dangle. So that's going to be a problem here because when we go to do some of our poses, you want to make sure your feet are nice and stable. One of the reasons that I brought this is so I can show you a potential problem with even a normal size chair depending on the length of your legs. Now I'm almost 6 feet tall, so for most chairs, my feet touch the ground, no problem. But I brought this one to show you an option if your feet don't touch the ground. So I grabbed my handy dandy yoga blocks. And again, this is something that you can do in a standard size chair. And if you put the yoga blocks on the ground, you can find that space where your feet are nice and stable on them. If you don't have yoga blocks, you can use thick books, a dictionary, a phone book, something that helps you get that connection with the ground if your feet already don't go all the way down. So again, nice sturdy chair, but a little bit too tall. This is my workout for the day, moving the chairs around. Now this chair is the chair that I use in my chair yoga classes. I really like this chair. It's nice and solid. My feet touch the ground. It's a good height. And what's really great about this height is that when we do our standing poses, like standing table, it feels nice and secure. One of the reasons that I like the heavier chair is because when we're working on the balancing poses, I can lean into it without feeling like it's going to fall over. Another added benefit to a heavier chair is when we're moving it around, that's a little bit of extra weight and a little bit more of a workout. Always sneaking more things in. So the last chair, this one, if you practiced with me in the studio in Pennsylvania, you might recognize these chairs. There was always a battle not to be the one stuck in this chair, and I'm going to show you why. So folding chairs are a perfectly good way to practice chair yoga. I recommend the metal ones. So the problem with the plastic is it's a little bit lighter weight. So you can see as you sit down, it sort of sinks in a little bit. You're not as supported as you are with a firmer chair. But also, when we come into the balancing poses, if you lean into it, it might pop up. So you want to pay attention to that with your chair and make sure that you have a chair that you feel stable with. Now, if all you have at your disposal is a chair that's a little bit wobbly, you can always take a few extra minutes before we go into balancing poses and put a stack of something heavy on the seat. That's going to give you a little bit more weight so that you can more safely use the chair as a prop for balancing. Now, the one last thing I want to show you, and again, you're going to have to play around with the chairs you have in your house. If you're anything like my house, we have so many different chairs. But you'll notice these are very different heights for the back of the chair. So what I need to do is find for my height the best size for me. So for me, when I'm leaning on this, I'm keeled forward a little bit. If you're a little bit shorter than me, again, I'm very tall, that might be perfect for you. But you ideally want something where you can have your hand on it without having to bend down. So you're nice and stable and it's just there as a support. So I hope that was helpful. That's sort of a quick down and dirty way to select a chair for chair yoga. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you want to send me some pictures of your chairs for some help deciding, it definitely wouldn't be the strangest message I've gotten, so feel free to reach out with that. And yeah, so it's important to keep practicing, and I hope you have as much fun watching this as I did making this. Thanks.